Hey everybody, and welcome back to week 4 of my off-season training. A couple twists this week, and twists as I'm throwing a rotational med ball. So as you see here, feet are planted, throwing the rotational med ball, just kind of warming the body up, warming up the rotation, not throwing really hard. That's why I sped it up. Did 10 reps in each direction. And so this is Sunday, November 12th. And we got into Olympic lift day. So here I add a little bit more of an aggressive windup, more aggressive throw, getting the legs involved. Do 5 on each side. And then my last set, I end up pulling out the radar gun and start getting some baseline numbers to try to progress on for the speeds. I did this last off season, and it was a fun way to challenge, especially when the weather gets bad. And you just don't feel like going out and throwing something. I'm still throwing something aggressive. And we'll rotate weights. So this is a 6-pound ball. The lightest I'll go is a 4-pound ball. And here you see the radar gun up, 27 miles an hour, 26, and then 27 again. We'll work both sides. And definitely stronger on my right. I'm surprised it's not a bigger difference than on my left. Is this 25, 26, 25, I believe. Just how many times I've rotated the other direction comparatively. So this week was a mixed bag of how training days went and how the body goes. And I kind of have a base schedule, and I've changed up some things in my offseason. I'm going to have to do like kind of a recap video now that we're a month in, kind of what I was planned and what I've adjusted for myself. So this day decided to do triples to cut down the volume and work a little bit heavier after kind of playing with volume and load and stuff like that, just kind of going off the feel and also like kind of how the body is around my work schedule. I do have the movements planned and I have a progression planned, but it doesn't always stick that way. So I thought today would feel a little easier going up to this top set of 100 kilos. It was not as easy as I expected. Watching the video, it looks fine, but intensity-wise, like how it felt was harder. And then I kind of got a wild hair to drop to 90 kilos. And this was, I think, a set of 8, which is obviously a PR set, probably of any variation at 90 kilos. I just never do it. But I figured from the blocks, just kind of trying to make myself get aggressive and go after something. So I may try to attempt this here in a couple more weeks, reattempt this and see if I can't do 90 kilos for 10, or maybe a little bit heavier for 8. So after cleans, this is where or after snatches, I moved on to power cleans. This is where I messed up. Started power cleaning, 110, 120, 130, and was like, okay, I think I got 140 in me. And this is actually, I think, when I realized, I did 135. And I think it was after this, I was like, well, dang, I was supposed to do full cleans. It's like, oh, screw it. Let's hit power, which 140 is close to a PR power, and it was a little sloppier than I wanted. And I was like, well, might as well do 140 and move on. See if I could hit 145, which is my PR, which was not there that day. It looks like it could have been, but technique would have got a little sloppy. So drop back down and hit full cleans, because that's what this phase is supposed to be. So that's how much I haven't been doing full cleans. I just revert to powers. So drop to 115. This was 125. Hit 135. And I've gotten a little jacked up lately. I'm kind of excited. Especially here's 145. And I hadn't really, there you see a little bit of excitement. Just doing better than I expected. And then here I drop back down just like I did on snatches. This is down to 125, so 275 pounds. I want to see how many power cleans I could do with it. So I ended up doing 5 or 6. And then just kind of, that was probably the end of this day. Not a ton of other stuff after the med ball throws. I did some other stuff in the warm-up and just didn't include it. And we move on. This was Sunday the 12th, and then we'll move on to the 13th. This next day was a day at work at the volunteer house, and I just threw the sandbag, and then I got into doing a circuit. So this sandbag has been a good little tool, and what I've been working on is not throwing it very hard or far, and just working on feeling things, feeling technique, feeling positions, feeling different things. So this week was pushing with both feet out of the back. I actually threw it today is the day that I'm recording this. I threw the sandbag again, but trying to see and one thing I've noticed, and I noticed it today, and it's going to come in through this. My finish here, I'm stepping that right foot more through and not throwing off of it. It's kind of translating to my throws, and I think what's happening, see, there it is. I'm planting and driving up through that left. It kind of gives me that shin splint feeling after enough volume. So I think that rotating that right foot is trying to relieve some of that. So I have to see when I really go to throw the actual weight, when I throw one turns with the actual weight, how aggressive I am with it, and if things are hurting or how things are going with that. I think I do like 8 or 10 throws. I don't think I recorded them all. And then I actually did a video, if you saw it already, on how to throw this sandbag for strongman, trying to teach the demo of the J position. And so I had a couple different variations there. And here it is trying to use like mimic I had to run and grab it. Then we tried the Mark Wechter standing wob version. And this first throw was very interesting. I actually did not mean to do what I did. Here's me trying to feel it out. So this is exactly how things go. And I throw it into this light pole, and I'll kind of leave it because it's kind of comical. The sound it makes, I don't know if you can hear it. I'm kind of like, oh boy. Nervous. Look around. Did anybody see it? Did not intend to throw it at that light pole. I was just trying to throw it up in the air. Kind of like that direction. No intention of going that far off with the light pole. This is very different. Something I can see being useful down the road, just trying something different. Like I kind of mentioned this offseason, just taking things and throwing things in all kinds of variations. So I can see it using that more in a weight over bar setting, really for my heavyweight, kind of working on my heavyweight finish. Next day, and so I finished it, did like a circuit workout with some pull-ups and some box jumps and ab wheel after that. Didn't video any of that, kind of got it in quick. This is sped up, actually. Went the next day to bench. Saw my man Willis Graves post something about this for shoulder external rotation, and holy cramps. I encourage you to try this exercise out. It was awful. I'm going to have to keep doing those external rotations. I know my external rotation is weak, specifically in my left arm. And here you see me doing a no grip face pull, working the same kind of motion, but adding that, obviously, pull with that same external rotation motion. This is all before a bench press, speed bench, switch over from chains to bands. So this was the lightest week, 155 plus short mini bands. And that was pretty much it on the day. Not a big workout day planned. But shoulders, clap push-ups, obviously before I did the actual. There's my plyos for the day. Can't beat good old-fashioned clap push-ups. Here's my speed bench. It's speed bench. Oh, well. I want to go back and talk about the day before, which with that sandbag stuff, just trying to throw anything I can in different forms and trying to get the most out of just challenging the body to throw however you can. And then, man, I'm sorry, I'm getting a little scatterbrained here. Getting into that shoulder external rotation, I've got to try to find more of that stuff that kind of is that mobility challenge and some of that stuff attacking the weaknesses this offseason to make things not hurt as much. I know my internal rotation mobility is terrible on my right shoulder, which helps me tuck the stone better, which I'm working on that, but my left shoulder external rotation is terrible. External rotation just is tight and hurtful and painful in general, which is why you don't see me squatting with a straight bar very often as a back squat. So this is Wednesday the 15th, I believe. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday the 15th. We threw some weight over bar with the 49 again. I've actually enjoyed it, so I'm just not pushing myself. Also, no tacky on my thumb, so it's not perfect for me. And then here we threw the heavyweight weight for distance on the day. And like I mentioned last week, this is something that I suck at. It did go better, and I'll share some distances. I think I was at 32.6 for the one turn with it. I still notice a pull. I'm not getting around. I did fix things a little bit as this practice went on. I got a couple that went a little bit better, but I kind of noticed myself still pulling more than pushing. And I think that's me trying to still compensate from the left quad. And then I think I took 5 or 6 and then went into full 2 turns, 5 or 6. These feel so much more natural for me. And it's still, because I haven't been throwing it like a ton or the heavyweight a ton, I've been throwing the lightweight more, just trying to give the body a break. So yes, I'm throwing a lot this off season, but it's doing things in a smart way, as smart as I can try to make it, to where I'm not abusing myself. I'm not throwing the heavyweight, hundreds of reps. I'm trying to build up. And there's a call. So I'm going to stop this and talk again in a second. So that's real life, how this stuff happens anytime you're at the firehouse. You never know when it's coming in. So heavyweight went pretty good. I think I ended up over 35 with the strap. And I'm just trying to slowly build my volume up with that. I'm not overly pushing things. So you saw 5 and 5. That's been a couple weeks now, so I might go 6 and 6 next week. Adding just a little bit of volume, trying not to overbeat up the body, as well as kind of adjusting around everything I am doing with the gym. So front squats have been pretty heavy lately. So here is a deload week. of 140 kilos for a 10 set EMOM, so every minute on the minute, 1 rep. So the last rep, I about killed myself missing the rack. I left that in here for your enjoyment. Possibly might have dropped some curse words, so apologize for that one if I left the whole video in. But these felt all right for being 140 for 10 singles. Here it is. Just ran away to not get hurt, still tripped over the deadlift jack. Didn't know what I did at first. Obviously rewatched it, kick the rack. Kind of hurt my hand a little bit.
That's it. I don't know what happened. I missed
Nothing went through the wall. Nobody got hurt. Laughing.
Oh, fuck, do I
And then I realized I got out of video.
Yes!
You gotta celebrate the little things. And here it is again. Trip, miss, and run away. So, a little bit of adjustment on these inverse curl. And if you guys have watched this far in these videos and you enjoyed this much stuff, please give the video a thumbs up. If you're not subscribed already, please subscribe. And then leave some comments. What more you want to see? I've got a couple comments for video ideas coming up soon. So that's awesome. Now, one thing I've adjusted with this inverse curl, you see I've got 2 plates and 2 chains on there. Oh, the 2 reds, but I've played with lowering the pad down, and it's definitely hitting my hamstrings more direct. I guess maybe a little less hip and more hamstring. And then I'm speeding this up. 20 rep sets on the leg extension. When I'm at the gym to get it in, 20 rep sets trying to pump blood into that left quad, still trying to get it to come back. Feeling better, feeling strong. Still notice some deficit, so just keep on, keep trucking on it. But here you see I'm down to 1 chain. So feeling better with these. If you notice, I'm trying to really not break with the hips. The hips kind of stay exactly the same even when I start pulling back up. Really focusing on pulling the heels up against the pads, really trying to leg curl it and pull the hamstrings. I worked up to later here, and I'm going to have another set of leg curls in there. And once again, this is all still on my Wednesday lift. So this was after throwing. It was a tough, longer workout. Heck of a burn here at the end, but pairing these 2 up. And then finished off with some back extensions I don't think I recorded. And here I'm down at 2 plates, which would be a PR on this. Now, granted, like I said, my feet are a little bit lower, which is apparently easier on the pad. And I think I did a last set, and I moved the chest pad a little more forward, so it's a little bit more, less assistance for a less range of the arc is kind of how that works. But, yeah, these I am trying my best to get better at them. And I guess I just wanted to show y'all I did a lot of leg extensions this day. And I cut that video, I guess, or something. So, 16th and 17th. Thursday, Friday took off. Tired, longer days at work, XYZ going on, and just took them off. And that's something I'm doing a little bit more versus in the past, I'd try to still do something and hold myself to something every day. Just trying to, it's weird, I'm trying to let myself be okay with off days. I know you have to have them, and you have to have deload weeks, which this week kind of tended to be a little one. With the front squats, we're not as heavy. The cleans in the Olympic lifts were, volumes and everything else kind of weren't a ton. I still did a bunch of leg extensions, obviously. But this is Saturday. This is after a very long morning. And here I have some hammer winds. So this is a 27-pound hammer, and then some med ball throws into the wall with a 20-pound med ball. So these I feel like helped my stones out a ton. Something I've talked about over the past year and a half, maybe 2 years, that I did a lot more of, and just learning to push on something heavy and hard. But the hammer winds, this workout happened after a long day of moving what's in the background there, a leg press into the gym, as well as like a lot of other little projects around the gym, fixing the deadlift platform and whatnot. So worked up to 80 kilos here for some sets of 3. I think it was 5 sets of 3 at a high hang power snatch. So I've been doing blocks. This was obviously not working very heavy. I was going to only go 70, but it felt pretty light still, so 80 felt like the right load. Once again, not a set plan, but just going off of kind of feel. 5 triples here in the hangs. Then I went to power cleans, not the full cleans. And it was 5 or 6 singles at 110 kilos, so very light load. I got to start pushing that light load in those cleans up a little bit because it didn't feel too bad. So probably can get away with going to 115 now for my lightest load there. And finishing off this video is some leg press. Yes, when you get a new equipment, you got to use it. Worked a new technique. Breathe out on the way down and breathe in on the way up. Something I've never done before. Got that one from Levi. Try it out. He got it from Donnie. It was miserable. And then we'll throw in Sunday, spent the whole day hunting. That was it. It was a very, very good week, and excited to move on to the next week. Day 1 of the next week already went pretty solid with some front squats. I'll clue you in, give you a little secret heads up. Make sure you come back and watch all the other stuff I'm going to try to put together this week before we get the next week's video out. Thank you guys if you watched this far. I love the support. Love putting this content out for y'all. Hope you learned something. Enjoy it, and go out and get better yourself. If you take something from this, take it. Take one thing. Go get better. Try it. See ya.